I remember day 4 being by myself from the group. I had paddled up downriver a little bit, and I was by myself and within the canyon walls, and I could hear nothing with the exception of just the rushing water. And it was one of those moments where I essentially teared up because it just gave me this sense of awe. And those are the moments, I think, you go back to that human element, that core in our DNA, that, you know, that connection to the outdoors. I mean, we've all been, you know, going through kind of this, you know, emotional fatigue over the last 10 to 15 years with technology, with politics. But there is that core of friends, of nature, and I think it really rights us and brings us into kind of a peaceful moment. I will never, ever, you know, lose that feeling, because I think there's another one coming. I grew up in Southern California, and water was always a big part of my life. Surfing, scuba diving, sailing, road trips down to Mexico. Back in the early 80s, I wanted to change, so I moved up to Tahoe. I was teaching up there, and my life changed. I met this young woman, this young winemaker in Napa, and 17 days later, we were engaged. Not only was she a talented winemaker, but she shared the passion for the outdoors. And I think it was that Grand Canyon trip that really opened up our eyes. I remember 4 days in drinking a boxed wine and thinking, this tastes really good. So it was the experience, it was the moment, we were with our friends, and I thought, well, we can go beyond boxed wine. A friend of mine introduced me to a talented designer by the name of Michael Etter. And Michael had this concept of wine in can, beautiful graphics. I jumped in, recruited a good friend of mine to run operations, and we hired a national sales director, and off to the races we go. The concept of Free Public is mobility, affordability, sustainability. You know, aluminum is much easier to recycle than glass. We're kind of breaking out of the glass house that wine has been kept in for so many years. We are part of 1% for the Planet, which is Yvonne Chouinard of Patagonia's nonprofit. So 1% of all of our revenue goes to public space, public lands. We talk about wine and this visceral experience. All 3 of our wines were top wines in the Wine Spectator. We've got 90-point scores. But if you're not in the right environment, if you're not with, you know, people that you care about, often that wine doesn't show very well. You know, with the canned wine, we're in nature, we're with our friends, we're in the backyard, we're in Yosemite, and I think it's that moment. It's all about the experience. We had spent years traveling, but we had not really explored our backyard. We were looking at, okay, let's set a goal, and that goal is paddling 100 bodies of water. We don't want to basically buy an RV, that's what our parents did. We started researching vans. So this was a vehicle that we could put our mountain bikes in, our paddle boards, our fly rods, and just see the U.S. Wine has always brought people together, you know, traditionally, conversing, sharing stories, sharing life stories. And, you know, it's just been so cool because we've been on the road in our van sharing Free Public, which brings me to the John Muir quote. Of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirty.